Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Ziggy's Rants. And tonight I'm going to be talking with, interviewing Morag Brown, who you'll probably know by now is the 74-year-old lady who was arrested for a, well, we'll call it under the hate crime bill, this new hate crime bill, because a neighbour made a false accusation against us. So, good evening, Morag. How are you?
Hello there. Hi, I'm fine.
Good.
Getting
And
there.
then getting there. Been a busy week for you, I bet.
It has
Yes,
been a
yes.
horrible week.
A lot of interest has
Mm-hmm.
been on this subject. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just go through quickly of what occurred on that day, and then I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. So uh, the police were called, and they came to your house, and they then went through that there was a hate crime incident had been logged.
Uh-huh. Well, actually, at first they never told me. They said they couldn't tell me what it was about. Um, and I knew the two policemen that were here because they've been here on a couple of occasions. And
Is that due to problems with your neighbour,
yes,
the same neighbour?
mm-hmm. And one of them was here at the very beginning when she threatened my house if I phoned the police after she'd attacked me.
So the
But
police were aware of other instances in the past
33
between
incidents.
you and your neighbour. Yeah.
Mhm. So I could see they were very sympathetic, but they said, Morag, we need to arrest you under caution, um, and we'll need to take you to a police station. And I said, well, why can't you interview me here? What is it I've done? They couldn't tell me. All they said was, it's an allegation. So obviously, I was really worried because I knew that I'd not done nothing. And the big police van was outside. But they said they had to take me to a police station because of the new law. Well, the only law that I knew that came out was the 1st of April, which is the hate crime. But to be honest, I wasn't really thinking. My mind was, what have I done? What have I done? So I asked them, they had sympathy on their face. You could tell they did not want to do this. So I said, would you do me a wee favour and go out to the van and then I'll follow you out? I didn't want people passing. I'm right facing a marina and I just didn't want anybody to see me with the police. So anyway, I got in the van. I was in a bit of a state at this time. I phoned my daughter and she was shocked. And she said, I'll meet you. They were taking me to Kilmarnock police station, which is about 25 minutes away.
So we're
So she,
talking over around about 10 miles or so away from where you are.
hmm and she met me. Well, I never seen her, but she was contacting a lawyer as well. And meanwhile, she was telling me the lawyer said, don't say a thing, no comment until he gets there. But to be perfectly honest, I knew I hadn't done anything and I was innocent. So we arrived at the police station, but then we waited about half an hour to go through to, I call it a reception desk, where I was read my rights. And I was asked a lot of questions that didn't apply to me, but the officers had told me that would happen. Um, and then a policewoman came round, searched me, and then asked me to take off all my jewellery. And it was all put in wee bags. And still didn't know what it was.
It's, right.
And
So, so
it's just the memory.
yeah, so they arrested you, they interviewed you, and then you've told me they actually said there was no further action going to be taken.
They took me into the interview room because they said that's when they would tell me what it was. And just sitting at a table, and they asked me, I think it was 4 questions, but I can't remember them all. The first one was, did I see my neighbour that day in the communal garden? And I said, And they said, what happened? I said, well, I seen her throwing rubbish over the fence into my garden. I said, and I just stood up and I seen my rose bush getting all bent over. So I went into the kitchen with my phone and I took a photograph of her
Did you show
doing
the
this.
photograph? Yeah.
A video wouldn't work. I think it was my nerves. So I got the photograph and that was it. Nothing else. I never spoke to her. I never opened the door. I hadn't been out the house all day. And so I knew nothing about it until they arrived the next day at 12 o'clock at my door. But the question was, why would she make this allegation against you? I said, well, as you know, this is the 3rd allegation. She's already made 2 false allegations, nothing happened. I said, I can't think, the woman doesn't like me, and that's it. She's got a grudge against me for something. And they said, did you call her a simple Mongol? And I said, that is not even language I would use. That's never something I would say, but it is my neighbour's language. I've got it on wee notes that she put through my door over the 2 years, and also on my neighbour's notes as well. That's a word that she uses. And they said, that's fine, Morag, no charge, and you're free to go. And we'll go and tell your daughter you'll be out in a minute, when I had composed myself.
So all that couldn't be done in your own home. That had to be done at a police station.
It had to be done at a police station.
Right. I'm honestly, there's not a lot that shocks me, but that it is quite a shocking thing that they couldn't do in your house. Just have a quick word, find out what's happened, and then decide on the. It doesn't. I can't compute that. But
No.
my question, Morag, how has this affected you personally
Personally,
and your family?
I'm okay today. I feel an awful lot better today, but it has affected me. As you can see, every time I talk about it, it's just a horrible memory, and I don't think I'll ever go over it. I don't think I'll ever forget it. It's like a nightmare.
What?
Never.
Sorry, Morag, carry on.
No, I've never ever had any dealings with the police, or apart from the last 2 years. So to be taken in a police van, it was horrendous. But they were very good, and they kept saying, "Are you all right, Morag? Are you all right?" I think they thought I was going to take a stroke or something. They were very, very sympathetic. So I've got no grudge against the police, because they're only doing what they're told, and it looked as though they were embarrassed to do it.
What about your family? They must be.
Well, I've only got one daughter. I'm here on my own. And she is my rock. Her name's Kirstine, and she's just couldn't ask for better. So she's dealing with a lot of the stuff just now, because I can't do it. And I thought I was a strong person, but how this has affected me, I just can't believe it.
Does it worry you, Morag, going forward that she may do the same again?
Exactly. That is one worry. What's to stop her phoning the police, making up another lie? Do they come and arrest me again? And she's got no proof or evidence or anything. It's the most stupidest draconian law that we'll ever see.
Exactly. It's quite astonishing what's happened, and your story's got out there because you've been brave enough to speak to the media and to people like me on these kind of channels and others. But how many people are out there that this has happened to?
The support I've received is overwhelming. Somebody has offered me a holiday. Um, it's been absolutely
If you
marvellous.
need someone
And
to carry your case, then I'm quite happy to carry your case for you.
um, but what I did, I was so upset on the Wednesday morning. I done a letter what happened to me, and I sent it to a friend on Facebook. She's one of the administrators of I Vote No to Scottish Independence.
Yeah,
Mary has been my rock. And it was Mary that organised all this and getting in touch with the media, etc. I don't know what I would have done without her, because
you,
after that, I just thought I'm on my own again. No, nobody cares, but boy, was I wrong.
yeah, you've had a hell of a lot of support on here, on social media, other outlets. Now, but you've also had some pretty nasty comments made as well, haven't you?
Yeah, um, it was on Craig Houston, and it was Craig that alerted me to it. But it's actually a friend of my neighbour who's an alcoholic who put the post on,
Right.
and it was nasty. So Craig just blocked her right away.
That's the best thing to do is just block them and ignore them because you've got far more support uh, on your side who's interested in looking out for you on this and following what you've been saying because the number of people that contact me telling me how brave you've been on coming out and standing up against this because there'll be a lot more people in the same position as what you're in, Morag,
They could
who,
be.
who haven't spoken out or can't or haven't had the opportunity to speak out or don't want to speak out because nobody wants to be uh, in a position where you're having to leave your house with a big police van outside and then put into a police van with neighbours looking out and neighbours watching and nobody I can't get my head around why the police would put you and I know what you're saying that it's not their fault they're following the law but I personally believe policing should be policed up with common sense and a little bit more as they used to do it. Now, a bit of common sense, an older, maybe a more experienced police officer should look at the situation and say, well, no, at this time, we'll just interview you in your home, we'll speak to you, we'll speak to the neighbour, and then we'll make a decision on what to do.
Yeah,
It
and
does,
especially when they knew there was 43 incidents and it all involved her, not just with me, but with
with the
other
past
neighbours in
history.
the block.
Now,
You know, you think they would have said, well, who do we believe here? I've got evidence of every piece of damage that she's done to me.
what have the police said going forward now with this?
I haven't heard from them.
Have they said they will contact you again about
Nope,
this, or have
nope.
you spoken to
But
the neighbour?
my daughter got a call from the chief constable or the chief inspector down at Troon police station. And he said, your mum wasn't charged with a hate crime. There was no charge. But I think
it's the process of being taken away from your own home and taken into, because people talk, don't they? Neighbours talk, and they say, well, there must be something if they've taken her in a police van, and that it's the perception, isn't it, of what's happened. So what now for you then? What now for you going forward? Are you gonna take this further, or are you, you are going to take this further?
Yeah.
Right.
Antisocial. I've got letters and everything.
Is that a group that's a free speech group? Is it? That's
the Free Speech Union.
yeah.
I phoned them yesterday because they're dealing through a company called Levy and McRae, and I asked them if they could help me, but they don't do legal aid.
No.
So they've told me to speak to a local lawyer, which my daughter is doing anyway. But yeah, I want
a complaint in. Are you putting a complaint into the police about this, about the way you were treated?
I don't know how it'll work. I mean, really, I don't have a complaint about the police, but I've got a complaint against the antisocial who have known what I've been going through for 2 years and always said their hands were tied, because she is a private renter and the homes are all owned. Like, I own my home as well. I just feel that more could have been done for me and it would never have came to this. But if it helps get rid of this stupid bill, then I'll be delighted, because it's a dangerous bill, very dangerous. Innocent people will be caught up in this, especially if somebody's got a grudge against you.
I think it for me, the worry for me is, and you spoke about it, the police thought that were worried about you because they thought, you might be having a stroke or something. Well, that could quite easily happen with somebody, with the shock of being taken out their own home, put into a police van. It could have long-term damage to people's health, people's well-being, people's mental state. It is quite a worry. But what the good thing is, you've been strong enough to speak to people within media and things like that. Has that helped, being able to do shows like the GB News show like you've done? Did that help you?
It has helped me.
Getting your story
What
out
we
there.
would say, gets it off your chest.
Yeah.
It's definitely helped.
You don't feel as alone.
No.
You feel that there's now people behind you and standing alongside you and saying we support you, because that's a big issue as well. Is you could have a situation where people are on their own, they live on their own.
I'm on my own.
Don't have that many family behind them, and then who do they turn to?
That's right.
That's right. All for a made-up allegation, or maybe even if it's just two neighbours having an argument, it's just hurty words, and someone's going to be phone the police, and someone's going to again get in trouble just for a couple of hurty words. It doesn't seem fair, and it doesn't seem right. And thank you. I just want to say thank you for standing up and being brave to come on my show and go on to GB News and other outlets and that, and stand up and say, no, I'm not gonna put up with this. I'm not gonna have this. I'm gonna get my story out there, and hopefully this.
Well, hopefully tomorrow in Scottish Parliament there's a vote.
Yes, there is. There's a vote.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's a vote tomorrow on, and we'll find out tomorrow. What we'll find out tomorrow, even if it doesn't pass, even if the hate law stays, but we'll find out who's going to back this now. Are Labour going to keep backing it, or are they going to reverse and say, well, no, we were wrong, and go and vote against it? We already know the Conservatives will vote against it. Will Liberals stay with this if they voted for it? And how many of the SNP will carry on voting for it? So we'll know by tomorrow how many either going to back us or go against what people think. But getting your story out there and doing what you've done, it could hopefully make a big difference and stop anybody else going through what you've gone through.
Hopefully.
And do remember, you've got a lot of support from social media, from all around the UK. It seems you've become quite famous now.
Fabulous.
Because you've been in GB
It
News.
overwhelms me when I see it.
Yeah. Have GB News been in touch again?
GB News, Patrick Christie, secretary, had been in touch to see if I'd gone, but she was not aware that their Scottish reporter, Tony Maguire, was interviewing me. So unfortunately, I won't be on Patrick's, which I watch every night.
Well, has any of the opposition politicians been in touch?
No, but Douglas Ross has replied to Mary, who's the admin of the page, and she got it all out. And he was shocked. He was shocked. And he sent his regards to me, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to thank you very much, Morag, for agreeing to come on and taking your time out to speak to me today.
You're welcome, Mark.
Speaking to you, and I'll be watching with interest and following up on your story, and hopefully we'll get rid of this absolutely ridiculous, stupid law, and nobody else will go through what you went through.
Hopefully not. Hopefully.
So, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
It's been great.
Take care.
You too. You too.
Okay.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So that's Ziggy's rant for today. And thank you to Morag for joining us. And we'll please subscribe to my channel. Leave your comments, what you think about this and what's happened. And like the video interview. And we'll see you next time. Good evening.